today we're going to talk about the idea of highest good. So highest good, as I use the term, includes a form of humility, inside of which we recognize that we don't really know most moments of life, how everything plays out, what really is going to help us grow, what things that we think are the worst possible outcomes are actually going to be gifts in our lives, and the converse as well. We don't have that kind of perspective. And so the idea of highest good is a way of detaching ourselves from our attachment to thinking that we need life or a situation or relationship to go this one particular way. So the idea of highest good is recognizing that we actually don't have that kind of omnipotence. And therefore, we can ask to be guided towards whatever actions, relationships, and outcomes would actually serve the highest good from the largest possible perspective of everyone involved in a situation. So it's a form of asking for guidance, to be led, to be connected to some sense of what the right next set of actions or outcomes is for everyone from the highest possible perspective, even when they don't make logical sense to us. That's the basic definition of what I mean by highest good. Recently, although I've been aware of this concept for a very long time, it's only been very recently that I've started using it in a prayer before each of my either coaching calls or could even be a sales or prospecting conversation, or even in helping my wife with, say she asked me to rub her neck or rub her shoulders, and something as simple as that. I've just started saying a little prayer before each of those calls or before putting my hands on her neck if it's sore, asking to be guided in the conversation. My thoughts, my intuitive sense, my actions, my words, to all be guided and shaped by what would lead to the highest good for everyone involved. And really everyone involved, if I look at, for example, a prospecting call, it's more than just me and my business and revenue. It's more than just that person, their business. If that person and I get into a professional relationship that really wasn't a good idea because one or both of us are attached to something happening, well, it affects my well-being when I'm in a relationship that I know isn't right for me. It affects theirs. Could affect their revenue, my revenue. Could affect their spouse, my spouse. Affect the employees in their company, the customers they serve, and on and on. So when I ask for the highest good for all involved, it's a very complicated matrix that I'm asking to be taken into consideration. And in asking for guidance, I'm acknowledging in humility that I don't really know what the highest or best good is as an outcome in that situation. Now, that allows me to be in those conversations, to have my hands on my wife's neck if it's sore, etc., in a place where I'm open to hearing and seeing things that aren't connected in my mind and my emotional experience to what the I that's very limited, like fear-based, like wanting to get what I want, where that's coming from. I actually can disconnect from that enough to just get connected to what's actually happening in the conversation with the other person without any attachment or agenda as to how I think this thing should go. And then it can go where it needs to go. I had a call like that today with a prospective customer in the UAE, in Dubai. No expectation for how the call was going to go, no attachment to the outcome. We had the most beautiful, nurturing conversation. And the natural outcome of that was we both decided we wanted to explore working together. And that's what really seemed to serve in the highest. So I'm inviting you to create a practice for yourself of getting related to the highest good at various moments throughout your day and your life. The highest good for everyone involved. See if you can use that as a prayer, as a mantra, as a place to ground yourself, to disconnect from your attachment to how you think things must go, and instead to become available, to be guided for your intuitive knowing, however you want to talk about it, what's in your unconscious awareness, to become present for you in the way that your actions and your words and your ways of being naturally lead you and everyone who you connect with and lead to the highest good for all involved. Try it on. Get connected to a greater sense of yourself in those moments when you might otherwise be attached to something that comes from a smaller aspect of yourself, grounded in fear or attachment. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.